Okay, yeah. And let's bring up our next comedian. Met this guy not too long ago. Another very funny comedian. Put your hands together right now for Mr. Will Frank, everybody.
How's everybody doing? All right, yep, so I performed under the name Will Frank. And I'm going to be 53 in about 6 weeks. And I know what you're thinking. Damn, 53? Black doesn't crack. I'm here to tell you, yes it does. You were not with me at my last doctor's appointment. And there's a lot of shit to unpack there. So yeah, I'm in my 50s, you know, a proud member of Generation X. Society used to call us latchkey kids, right? For those of you that don't know about what latchkey kids are, the 2025 definition of that is neglected child, okay? Our parents didn't give a fuck about us. They left us all day, every day to fend for ourselves. And now these kids today, they freak out when the Wi-Fi goes out. When I was 8 years old, the question of the day was, where the fuck is dinner? Oh gosh. And you know what? I should have actually said, are you okay? Because in the year 2025, you need to ask people, are you okay? Because a lot of us aren't, because there is a lot of crazy shit going on in this world. The bad news, it just keeps coming. It comes from all directions. It's all over the radio, social media, and even TV. I remember for the past 2 decades, the scariest shit I used to see on TV was Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I could never imagine how a whole family was smart, dumb, and weird at the same fucking time. And then our government, right? It's taking over the news. This administration is scary as fuck. Do you guys realize that we got a bunch of wannabe supervillains in charge of the country right now? Each one nastier, meaner, and scarier than the next. And so I'm up here thinking, if we're dealing with supervillains, what's the cure for that? Superheroes. So I'm trying to figure out, where the fuck is Batman, Superman, Captain America? I'd even take Captain Crunch right now if they can make freaking America normal again. God damn. I mean, the news is so bad right now, I've started looking at shows like 2020 and 48 Hours just to cheer up. I mean, the other day I was looking at a story and this guy decapitated his whole family and he went to Vegas. And I was like, well, with all the bad stuff going on in the news right now, a positive spin on is that after he killed everybody, he went to Vegas and he won really big at blackjack. And so what in the hell is going on with these goddamn airplanes? I mean, do you guys realize since January of this year, we've had at least 8 major aircraft incidents. And the thing is, it's scary, it's ruining my life because I love to travel. Case in point, a couple weeks ago, I was talking with my son. My son followed in my footsteps and went into the Air Force, and he got stationed in Japan. And he's like, Dad, you gotta come to Tokyo. This city's amazing, you'll love it. We'll have a great time. And by the way, I love you, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, you know what, son? I love you, and I miss you too, but not that much. I mean, I love my son, but I don't love him enough to get in an airplane and fly across the ocean. Fuck that. And then I don't know if you guys heard about what was going on at Newark International Airport. Some real scary shit. They had the air traffic controllers were freaking out because the screens were blinking out on computers. They were losing contact with the aircraft when they were trying to take off and land. They had a couple of near misses where the planes actually damn near collided with each other. And so these air traffic controllers, they actually had to start taking stress leave. And then I heard there was an expose they did, and they found out that some of the computers were so old, they were still using a floppy disk. A fucking floppy disk in 2025, all right? And I have landed at Newark International Airport, and I'm up here thinking the only reason why I landed there safely was due to a stressed out government employee using a Commodore fucking 64. Really? And you know if they're using Commodore 64, America Online is definitely their internet service provider. Imagine that, Newark has got the dial up. And you remember what used to happen when somebody would call that phone, right? Oh. That aircraft's trying to land, everybody's gonna fucking die. It's just all it is to it. And you know, every time they have an incident with an aircraft, they always do the same shit. They have all the local authorities there. They bring in the FAA and the NTSB, and they always say the same thing, right? They're like, we're gonna pull the black box, listen to the recording, we're gonna go through all the wreckage, and in about 6 months to a year, we'll tell you exactly what happened. And I'm thinking, there's a way to find out what happened with that aircraft for a lot cheaper and a lot less time. So see, the next time an airplane crashes, what they need to do is cut out one of them Jiffy Lube coupons. Take the aircraft over there, and I guarantee you within 30 minutes, they'll tell you exactly what happened with that airplane. And we all know that Jiffy Lube's a fucking scam, right? They tell you to cut out the coupon and go there, but they're gonna figure out a way to charge you triple what you thought you were gonna save. And you know the jig is up when you're sitting there waiting in the waiting room, and they bring in the Jiffy Lube manager to give you the bad news, you know? Usually some fat white dude named Earl. He comes in there with his clipboard, big ass beer belly, and he's like, 95 Camry, come out here to the bank. So I'm gonna say what a lot of people been thinking after I finished up this joke. Fuck Jiffy Lube. So also, I'd like to give a shout out to all the married couples in the room. I know there are a lot of people here, but shout out to all the married couples. As for me, myself, I've been married since 1999 to a bunch of different fucking people. I ain't gonna lie, I was a walking red flag there when it came to marriage. It's pretty bad when you go to the courthouse and they're like, you again? Fuck you, give me my paperwork, goddammit. But you know what? It's crazy because marriage is one of the few things that requires a license, right? But you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Think about it. To drive a car, you gotta get the vision test, driving test, the paper test, you get a license. You want to be a doctor or lawyer, you got to go to school, you got to pass the exams, you got to keep your certifications up. But to qualify for a marriage license, the only thing you got to do is be old enough to fuck up your life and somebody else's. But you know what though? I learned my lesson. I definitely had my trials and tribulations with marriage, but I got it figured out now. My beautiful wife is in the back. We've been married for 6 years. We've been together for 8. And so I like to put a positive spin on everything. So I say, even though I had some troubles with my earlier marriages, I like to consider myself the LeBron James of matrimony. Because we got 3 things in common. We're both black, we're both men, and we both have 4 rings. So I am originally from Florida, and I left there at 19 to join the Air Force because Florida was just a bad fucking time for me. I was bullied my entire childhood, and that'll fuck a kid up, right? You know? And the thing is, I actually started getting bullied in kindergarten from the first damn day, and it's terrible. They bullied me because I was smaller than all the other kids in my class. I showed up for kindergarten, I was 21 inches tall, 8 pounds and 7 ounces. And what was bad is my first bully was my kindergarten teacher. Isn't that fucked up? You up here fucking with this little kid? And it's crazy because at the end of the school year, my teacher had told my parents that they were gonna make me repeat kindergarten. What the fuck was I not learning in kindergarten that I would need to repeat? And even if I went to summer school, what am I gonna do? Go there a day and take a nap for 3 hours? But she told my parents that I was shy and introverted and I didn't want to deal with the other kids. Look, bitch, I was the size of a newborn. I didn't even have teeth. What the fuck? Oh, gosh. Yeah, so like I said, I'm, gonna be 53 pretty soon, and I hate going to the doctor at my age because the doctor always tells you some fucked up shit you don't want to know or to remind you of shit you're trying to forget. Like, for instance, I do not remember how much I drank or smoked in my 20s or my 30s. But the way the doctor's looking at me and that piece of paper with my lab results on it, that fucker's about to remind me. And so the doctor hit me with some bad news a couple weeks ago. He's like, well, in addition to the hypertension that you got, you now have diabetes and also high cholesterol. And I said, you said I have diabetes and high cholesterol? He goes, yeah. And I said, well, can I have something else? How about you and the lab tech go in the back, mix up my blood again, come back with something more positive like a migraine and a bad back. And so the doctors tell me, you know what? It's not that bad actually because you are just over the threshold for these two diseases. In fact, you can reverse it. Just start with diet and exercise. So this is what we're gonna do. How about you go ahead and write down everything you've either drank or ate in the past week. I will X out everything that you shouldn't have, and we'll go with the list, and then you can start from there. So I'm all hunky-dory. I'm writing down everything I ate or drank in the past week, and I give it to the doctor. The doctor looks at it, starts crossing stuff off, gives me the list back. You know what's on it? Air and fucking water. So fuck my doctor. Thank you guys. That's my time. And next up is Scott Henderson.